everybody. Welcome to a very special Thursday edition of Hawk Talk, one that I am quite excited for. I'm your host, Nolan Kopodlowski, and along with me on this fine Thursday is Chris, Alex, Sierra, and David. Thank you all for joining us on 91.7 The Edge WSUW Whitewater and on live streaming on UWW-TV. Thank you for watching or listening wherever you may be tuning in. And the reason today is so special, such a special edition of Hawk Talk, is because tonight is the first round of the much anticipated NFL draft. They're calling it perhaps one of the most unpredictable NFL drafts in years. So there's a lot to go over. We are going to be doing an entire first round mock draft, which at least as long as I've been here, has not been attempted. But Hawk Talk has been on long before I have been here, so who really knows what happened before. But yeah, we are going to attempt to do, some say, the impossible, and do a all first round mock draft here. 31 picks instead of 32 as the Dolphins had to forfeit theirs. But anyways, before we jump into that, let's talk about our days. Guys, a Thursday, we're about 2 weeks away here from the end of the semester, believe it or not, starting summer vacation. It got warmer today. It's almost 70 degrees out. We got the Hawaiian shirt theme today, repping.
Why's that?
Why is that?
Yeah.
It's because just because it's summertime.
Yeah,
it's
right?
theme week.
It's
Theme week. Oh, yeah.
definitely does not have to do with a certain basketball team and their attire, what they will be wearing.
Wait, there was a game last night?
Yeah, this might be the attire that the Milwaukee Bucks are donning, in the coming weeks as they head to Cancun.
I didn't see the game. What happened? Can you tell me?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I'm sure David enjoyed it, though.
I had a good amount of fun watching the game last night.
Where's your team again? What seed's your team again in the playoffs?
Oh,
What time did they play today?
Yeah, that's okay. At least I can say that we lost to the first team to ever make it out the play-in.
There we go.
That's respectable.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hang up the banner, boys. Hang up the banner.
Thank
We
you.
lost to the first play-in team to get out of the to get to the next round of the playoffs. Anyways, Chris, how are we doing today?
Just fantastic. I got to interview a big journalist today for the Royal Purple. His name's Gary D'Amato. He's a former alumni of Whitewater, and he worked for the Journal Sentinel for over 25 years, so that was cool. He got to attend almost every Olympic game since 1992 and has been to 30 Masters tournaments.
Wow, 30 Masters tournaments. That's 30 Masters shirts sitting up in his closet because you have to get a shirt if you go to the Masters. Alex, how are we doing today? Love the shades, by the way.
Thank you. I imagine I'll be taking them off when I got to read my big board. We'll be getting into that later. But it's been an all right day. I feel it's been a bit roller coaster. Woke up and it kind of started off, a little rockier, but overall it's been getting better throughout the day, getting warmer, getting nicer, and of course getting closer to the draft.
Yup, and only a few hours away now before draft time gets going. Sierra, how are we doing today?
I'm doing better. Not as tired as yesterday. wasn't woken up at 5:30.
I was going to say, is there anything that happened that would have made you not get as much sleep as you would have?
Wednesday morning was not my morning, but I'm doing better now.
Well, that's great to hear. Hey, it's a good Thursday. It's a good day to be alive. David, how are we doing today?
Same kind of. The building we're in, there was I don't even know, was it a gas leak or something?
I don't know, but the fire alarm went off and I wasn't happy.
It went off at 6 a.m. and we had to stand outside for a half an hour.
You shouldn't be pulling the fire alarm, David. That's against the law.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Sleep paralysis.
We got the
demons,
list to film next week.
Sleep paralysis demons are a terrible thing.
The intrusive thoughts one.
They did, and I was unconscious, so I had
intrusive
no control over them.
Ah.
But yeah, so that was sick. But no, it's been better now. I'm really looking forward to the draft. Huge L for IM leagues for having intramural games scheduled today. So I'm probably gonna have to miss the end of the first round. But
I'm gonna miss my team's pick.
Yeah, same.
You're gonna miss the Packers pick?
I got 3v3 games at 8 and 8:30 today.
Wow. Well, Alrighty then. Maybe they should. IM League should get a big scoreboard in there, like the Deer District, so you guys can watch at the same time.
That would be sick.
I'll have the phone out when I'm not playing.
I thought when you're going down the court, you got your phone out.
If they did that, then they wouldn't have enough budget to fund classes for the next. They would just sink their entire budget into that for the next 5 years.
Well, I mean that's that's what they're known
Sounds
for.
like a worth
Sacrifices had to
City
be
of
made.
Whitewater, please fix the parking lots. Anyways,
At Wells Lots.
before we get in trouble for talking smack about our university on a university
I
radio
love the
show.
University of Wisconsin Whitewater.
Yes,
It's the greatest place on planet Earth.
All this
More
info-
happy than Disney.
this entire
Source, trust
segment
me,
is
bro.
going to be redacted. So
Voted the safest campus in 2021. Just to throw that out there. So love the school.
Better business school than Madison. Unfortunately, we're not business students.
I mean, some could say that this is business. This is
In a way.
some major business. Okay. Anyways, on to our Warhawk thought here today, which is, since we aren't going to really have a segment about it, we're going to be taking up the majority of the show doing the NFL mock draft today. Just wanted to go over some of the NBA and NHL games that happened last night. We've been kind of checking up on both of these playoffs as they've been going here on Every Day on Hawk Talk. And David, let's hear it. As a Chicago fan, let's get out of your system now.
Well, first, I just had to make this joke. The Cavaliers' motto is "Let them know," and they did not, in fact, not let them know.
Oh, they let us know, all right.
They let
us know
the
that they are
hotel
not
know
ready
that
for
they'd be coming.
Yeah, that was actually really surprised by that. I remember saying on the show a few weeks ago that if Julius Randle was healthy, then I could see the series going to 7. Little did I know that they wouldn't. That it was kind of the most opposite. I would say right now, I'll throw out, maybe this will be a hot take, but outside of Fox or Curry, I think Jalen Brunson has been the best guard in the playoffs, definitely in the Eastern
interesting.
Conference.
Nice.
But yeah, I think the Knicks are a legit team. I think, especially now with who they're playing, they could make a serious run to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What are you
Gotta
saying
go
about
against
the
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, a certain coach that played Jimmy Butler, if he were to realize that the double team existed, then, maybe the Bucks would have had to have pressure on someone else not named Jimmy Butler score.
It's above his pay grade to make changes in game.
I can understand that that's not really something that he gets asked to do very often, so that kind of makes sense. But, no, I think in terms of the second round, it's going to be interesting because with no Tyler Hero, kind of the same thing for the Milwaukee series, really. It's if Jimmy has, God forbid, he has a bad game, or like I said, if Thibodeau says, "Hey, we should probably double this guy. He scored 100 points in 2 games." Then who's going to be the second guy? And I don't think it's going to be Bam. So I don't know.
Never know. Bam the GOAT. Anyways, Sierra, any games you wanted to mention from NHL or NBA that happened yesterday, happening today?
Shout out to Carson. His Kraken won yesterday, so that gives them the series win.
Kraken.
Series lead. They're up. It's 3-2. And then Evan, I know yesterday was not your day, and I know.
Oh, did they lose again?
They lost.
Let's
They lost. The Panthers.
Panthers
Can
won
make a
it.
Panthers in
comeback.
7, baby. Panthers in
Panthers
7.
in 7.
Yeah, so Evan, I know it was not easy, but your series isn't over yet. Everything's gonna be fine.
Everything's
Eat
not going
bread.
to be
He's done. Same with Joe Maybe. We're praying on the Bruins' downfall here at Hawk Talk.
Here on 91.7 The Edge, we do not stand for the Bruins.
And then I will say, whoever is doing the scheduling and decided to have the Rangers and Devils game at the same time as the NFL draft, I do not appreciate it. Now I have to try and watch both at the same time.
You gotta
so.
get the split screen out there. You gotta
the
go to
phone
B-dubs or
going and then
something.
the,
Yeah, making my life very difficult. I do not appreciate it. That's all I
So
have to
much
say.
to keep track of right now. All right, Alex, any games that you wanted to mention from the NBA, NHL happening yesterday, happening today?
I mean, obviously there was the game last night, so but I won't really delve into that too much. Seems like a bandage that's ripped
Hurts
off
too
a
much.
few times.
I need time.
I'll just give another shout out to Carson. Congratulations with the Kraken. Let's get cracking. I feel like they're really
Carson, my man, the Kraken Golden Knights conference finals.
Oh, man.
Let's make it happen.
That would be
Come
so
on.
great.
The expansion teams. Would that not be sick?
But hopefully he can just enjoy it while he's got it going right now, and hopefully he can continue.
Yeah. Chris.
I think my tweet said it very well last night after the game.
Uh-oh.
Nick Nurse, you are officially a Milwaukee Buck.
Oh, that'd be
And
dope.
that's a tribute to Jerry Springer, too, by the way. Rest in peace.
Rest in
Jerry
peace.
Springer. Nick Nurse, you are the Milwaukee Bucks coach. Yeah, I mean, very, very tough watch last night as a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
I also called that the Heat were going to come back with 8.5 minutes left down 10. I knew it was going to happen. I'm just putting that out there. I'm like, the Heat are winning this game. My friends looked at me, called me a pessimist, blah, 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 blah.
It's like putting money on the sun to get up in the morning. Like, it's like putting money on the sun to rise. It's bound to happen.
Dude, why did you not call the timeout? You could have advanced the ball.
David,
You're preaching to the choir
David,
here.
I'm not the coach. I don't make
You
these
probably
decisions.
would be just as well equipped as Budenholzer would be at this point.
Yeah.
I think I might be better equipped because
Dude,
I would have
like-
at least told Lopez to go out on Bam every once in a while when he's at the free throw line.
Could probably go blindfold Chris, and he'd be a better coach out there.
Why just so many questions. Why does Pat Connaughton not play game 1? He drops 24 points in game 2, and then he doesn't play game 3. Like, why is Jay Crowder playing no
Strategy.
minutes? Why did you trade 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder if you're not gonna, like, oh my god, it makes me want to hit my head against a wall.
Yeah,
Like we said, David, you're preaching to the choir
Yeah.
here. We wonder the same thing.
Yeah, let's move past this because I might walk off the show. Jets, Golden Knights, hoping Vegas can take care of business here tonight. It would be much appreciated if they could do so. And I'm pulling for the Atlanta Hawks. It'll be, very rare that you see me pulling for Trae Young and the Hawks. But I
pulling for
want
them
chaos
loud and
now in the NBA. I want chaos. I don't want the
Loud and
Celtics
proud.
back in there.
Dude, I don't understand why so many people think like he's like a bad player. Like,
He's ice cold. He's ice cold Trae.
He's like a traffic cone on defense, but like he's had 4 games that he's scored at least 30 and 10 so far. Like the dude, like I just don't understand how people can like say like, oh, he's a selfish player. I was like, then why has he been top 3 in assists for the past like 3 seasons?
Yeah, very valid point there. But we're hoping Trae Young and company. At least I'm hoping
be
Trae Young
cool.
and company can get it done.
Has there ever been a team that's come back down 3-0 before? Like ever?
I don't believe so. Were they down 3-0?
Yeah.
I thought it was-
I thought it was 3-1. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
My bad.
But anyways, yeah. So just quickly going over those NBA games. NFL in the mind. And all the very, very fun times that we had
Fun.
watching the Bucks for the last 10 days. But as Giannis said, it wasn't a failure. It's just building block to success. So. Anyways, without further ado, we don't have like a draft noise, but dun 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 dun. Yeah, we did the top 10 a couple weeks back. We got the NFL mock draft here today, so I'm going to start with David, and then we're going to work our way across, and we're each going to have a pick, and just give a somewhat brief explanation, but you can go into little depth. We'll adjust with time. Some picks might not need a whole lot of explanation. Some picks may need a lot of explanation, aka whoever goes second, which would be Sierra. So Texans pick, they're all over the place right now. So
We have no idea.
it's a mystery. But anyways, without further ado, we are going to start the Hawk Talk mock draft, and then we'll come back next week. We'll revisit it and see how we all did in this collective mock draft because, who the heck knows what's going to happen tonight. But without further ado, David, take it away. You have the Carolina Panthers picking number 1. Who are you picking for Joe Maybe's team?
Well, if Reddit has taught me anything, it's that Will Levis is the guy.
Yeah.
I
Thankfully,
knew that was coming the second you
Will
said
Levis.
Reddit.
thankfully, I have a brain, so I will
You
not
mean
be
you don't
doing
want to
that.
go put all your money on Will Levis to be number 1 pick?
I mean, Win is a 6'5", white, super athletic, built quarterback with all the physical traits, but like not as much skill. When has that not worked out?
Yeah, right. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, but I think I'm actually going to have to pretty much go the polar opposite of Will Levis and say that Bryce Young should be the guy. There's no way you traded up two first, 2 seconds, and your best receiver to not get the guy who's the most, in my opinion, like the most skilled like football player in the class. And I mean, if they do take Bryce Young, I just want to say that is like the greatest smokescreen of all time. With like all the with like how everyone thought for sure they were taking Stroud and how they had like 15 people at his pro day and everything. So
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of a shock if they took Stroud at this point. It really flipped, but yeah, for a while it was looking like
Maybe
C.J. Stroud all the way.
Maybe it had something to do with that like test that he took that he scored like really low on. Shout out to Ohio State.
But I mean, like, I don't know.
Ohio State education, everyone.
People come to Whitewater. People are saying that like it was like fake. So I don't really even know what to believe right now with what's going on. But yeah, back when the draft was nice and cookie cutter, and the Texans weren't thinking about taking Tyree Wilson at number 2, which is still a very real possibility.
I still have some like a few concerns. Like Alabama was like 1,000% lying about his height. Like that man is not 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
he's
right.
like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10".
And if he doesn't have a good offensive line, I wonder how injury prone he's going to be just because he's like smaller. But in my opinion, he's like pretty easily the most skilled like passer in the draft.
Yeah,
so.
for sure the best quarterback. For sure the best quarterback in my eyes. All right, so we got the easy one out of the way. Sierra, you get the honors of taking the Houston Texans and trying to predict what this confusing, idiotic franchise is going to do here.
So I know 2 of their biggest needs are a quarterback and a wide receiver, and I'm pretty sure when we did just the first 10 a couple weeks ago, I was very heavy on them taking a quarterback, and I thought they were going to take Bryce Young. But right now, I'm leaning more towards an edge player and with Will Anderson.
Will Anderson, and he is the odds-on favorite right now to be the number 2 pick, but that has changed so dramatically. Literally yesterday, it was Tyree Wilson. It's been C.J. Stroud.
I would not trust Vegas right now at all.
No, I mean, if you're betting money on this draft, you're saying, you might as well go throw it on the grill and burn
You're
it.
addicted.
All right, but yeah, Will Anderson going to Houston at number 2, very, very interesting. By the way, we did not preface this on the show here, but no trades in this one, just for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
I'm sure that there's guaranteed to be trades, and maybe even higher up. Maybe even higher up, but just for simplicity's sake, so we're not, dealing with the logistics of what a trade would entail and stuff like that, we'll keep it in the same order for now. So, on to Alex, who has the Arizona Cardinals here at number 3.
I just want to preface this to begin. Is this what we think will happen or should happen?
What we think will happen.
Ooh, interesting. That makes it a little harder for me to argue for. But I think I'll have to go, if that's the case, with Tyree Wilson, because with Jalen Carter having the off-field issues and whatnot, then it's just going to cause teams to steer away, and he'll probably be like the 3rd defensive lineman off the board. And obviously Arizona, I mean, realistically is probably going to be trying to trade down because they're looking for as much as they can get. But I feel like at this point they'll just take something in the trenches, and I think edge is the best move here.
So you think that they should take Jalen Carter? Is that the player that was going to be the...
But Wilson is still a good option. He's still ranked usually like around a 5.8 average on the big boards throughout. I have him at like an 8 because he's got a lot of the power. He's able to do like the bull rush, but his finesse move still hasn't developed yet. So he has to like work on that, but that is coachable. So.
All right, yeah, Tyree Wilson to Arizona. And that's going to be another interesting one. If Arizona does stay put, who they're going to go with, because Tyree Wilson, I think, is the favorite. But believe it or not, Paris Johnson has been getting a lot of love because apparently
number 3?
Because Kyler Murray apparently really wants him. That's the rumor I've seen in quite a few mock drafts.
He must be good at COD then.
Oh man, nothing like
duos.
Chris and his COD jokes for Kyler. It's just it's oldest
they
time
come up
stuff.
short sometimes, but you know what I mean.
But all right, Indianapolis. You have the Colts here.
So I think they're going to draft a quarterback similar to a quarterback they've drafted in the past. They're going to draft Will Levis with the 4th overall pick.
Wow.
It makes sense to me. I don't think Will Levis is a very good prospect personally, but the Colts aren't a very good franchise as of late, so I think it makes sense.
That would be a surprising pick, but it also wouldn't be at the same time. Like, I just don't know who Indianapolis is going to take because, like, they're guaranteed to take a quarterback, but would they be dumb enough to pass on C.J. Stroud if he's there?
I don't know. It's just Will Levis. I see him in a Colts jersey. I don't know if it's because he's from Kentucky. It's one of those kind of gut feel type of things, if that makes sense. But
Will Levis
for
is
sure.
a top 5 pick, bro.
A couple weeks back, they were saying that the Colts were like, that was their favorite guy was Will Levis, but that was before C.J. Stroud was like actually possibly
Dude,
available for them.
Oh my God, he could hit a 70-yard deep shot on an open field. That's crazy,
My
bro.
God, he talked to Peyton Manning.
Oh my God. He had a
It
good
would
pro
be
day.
fitting then.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson had a good pro day. That's
Yeah.
wild.
That's I mean, those guys
I could
usually
see-
never do too great.
I don't know. I can just see the Colts falling for something like that because they've
Oh, yeah, for
signed
sure.
over the hill, washed up QBs for 5 years now, ever since Andrew Luck retired.
Now they're
They've
just gonna
basically
draft
been in a gap year for 4 years now, and they're finally ready to start fresh with a Peyton Manning dupe almost.
Yeah, I mean, between the 3 quarterbacks that will be available there, likely between C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, anybody's guess who that's going to be because Anthony Richardson, also a very good prospect. He's going to need a lot of work, and I feel like they need they want a starter for them right away. I don't know. That's, again, one of the most unpredictable drafts in a long, long time. But that leaves me to Seattle, who, if C.J. Stroud is still available here, would be very tempting to take for them because I know that they have Geno Smith, but Geno Smith is only going to be there for another 1 to 2 years. I feel like he'll be kind of a temporary starter, and I think that they would love to get C.J. Stroud, but at the same time, this is a Seattle team that I think is all about taking the best players available. And even though they don't plan to stay here, be drafting this low again in quite some time, I can't see him going quarterback right now. I could see him maybe trading up with their 20th overall pick and trying to get back up in there if there's a quarterback available. But I think that they want Jalen Carter, so I'm going to go Jalen Carter to Seattle because I think that it just fits for them. I think he's been linked to them like crazy. I mean, Anthony Richardson has also been linked to them a lot. Who knows what's going to happen with Seattle? It's another one of those things. You're going to say that a lot, but. Jalen Carter, I think, is the best prospect in this entire draft.
Really?
I think whoever gets him is going to get a steal. If it weren't for the accident, I think he'd be easily the first defensive guy taken. Probably would get taken number 2 by Houston, assuming that they don't go Stroud. So, Jalen Carter to Seattle. And just like that, we got the first 5 picks done. Back over to David for the Detroit Lions.
Okay, so I know that a lot of people thought that at the beginning or at the end of the season that this was Goff's at the beginning of last season that this was Goff's last year. In my opinion, I think not only has he earned himself another year, but I think he can be the guy there for at least for the foreseeable future.
Wow, interesting.
It's not like he's old.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
He was pretty serviceable last year.
Yeah,
I would say he was more than serviceable.
They're a type of team where they kind of remind me of the Jets, where they don't really need stellar quarterback play. They just need a good, maybe a high level game manager. And I think at Jared Goff's peak, that can be what he is. And I think they need a little bit more help on the defensive end of the ball. And I understand they did get Cam Sutton, and they still have who's that other corner they got in free agency?
They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but they did trade away Jeff Okudah.
They got Gardner Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley. They got him as well.
Oh yeah, E-man.
And then they C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But I think taking a corner because Gardner Johnson's on a 1-year deal, and same thing with Emmanuel Mosley. So I think taking a corner would actually be their best bet right here. And I'm going to go. This may be a bit of a hot take, but I think the best corner in this class is not Devin Witherspoon. I think it's Christian Gonzalez from Oregon.
Yes, thank
So
you.
I'm going to take Christian Gonzalez to be the franchise cornerback in Detroit.
I feel like those two have been going back and forth on big boards for a while now. At first it was Christian Gonzalez that was the clear number 1, and then Devon Witherspoon kind of surpassed him.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think Witherspoon is a little bit better, but Gonzalez I think is still going to be a very good corner in this league.
I think Witherspoon has he's more aggressive, and he's more of a physical he's a hands type of cornerback. But I think Gonzalez is physical and athletic ceiling is a little bit higher.
For sure, for sure. His Gonzalez just has the only thing that concerns me about Gonzalez is that he has had suspect coverage sometimes.
Yeah.
It's been kind of up and down for him, so we'll see how his career pans out. But anyways, in our mock draft, we have Detroit taking Gonzalez. A lot of mocks have Witherspoon, but others have Gonzalez. It's really a coin toss between those two as to who Detroit's going to take. But anyways, two teams that have been linked to possibly taking quarterbacks, Seattle and Detroit, both do not in our mock draft here, and C.J. Stroud is still available right now. So Sierra, you get the Raiders pick here at number 7. Who do you think they're going to go with?
I think one position that they need help in is a tackle, and so I think the best tackle would be Peter Skoronski.
Peter
I agree with
Skoronski
that.
going
I
to
agree
the
with that.
Raiders.
Maybe it's just because I hate Ohio State, but I actually.
No, I
I do think
actually
Skoronski's
believe
better.
Skoronski,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he is.
Maybe like a Slater, because he's got the same issue of short arms.
That's actually him.
Yeah.
It's a really good comparison actually.
Northwestern, it's the
I
same.
think
Yeah, right.
personally, if the Packers could somehow get him, that would be my pick over JSN if he's still there. Even.
I don't really
I
think you
can't-
could go wrong with Johnson
I know
or
that's-
Skoronski.
I can't imagine that Skoronski's available there. I've seen Johnson falling down there in some mock drafts. I can't see Skoronski falling past Chicago. If he's there, I feel like the Bears are 100% going to take
Especially
him.
being Illinois.
Illinois
Northwestern.
bred,
That's
yeah.
I was
I
gonna
mean-
say if I had the Bears pick, that's who I would take is Skoronski.
Yeah.
I've actually heard from my friend that who's a Bears fan that he'd rather have Paris Johnson just because of the Ohio
Ohio
State
State,
connection
Justin
with Justin
Fields.
Fields.
Yeah, I mean
Ew.
that's why it's kind of it's kind of back and forth between those two.
So
but
gross.
it's like Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon. It's like
You can't
it
really
can
go
go
wrong.
either way. Yeah.
Oh, probably will.
Me personally, I think the Raiders would probably go quarterback maybe if Stroud is there. But I don't know. It's tough to tell what these teams are going to do. You might panic. I mean, teams might, that test scores might actually be affecting teams, and they might not like C.J. Stroud. So, anyways, in our mock draft, we have him falling to 8 here. On
That's
to
me, isn't
David with Atlanta. They
Wait,
put
I
their
just-
trust
I
in
believe
Desmond
that's
Ritter.
Alex.
Or I mean,
No,
Alex.
I did,
Sorry,
I
Alex.
did Christian Gonzalez.
No, right. I'm sorry. I meant Alex. Misspoke.
Whew. The fact that C.J. Stroud is still there is really interesting because they're riding with Desmond Ritter. We'll see how that
They're ridding.
actually lasts. Yeah,
They're ridding with-
Man, C.J. Stroud being there, that is
good.
really hard to pass up on. And plus, I feel like for them, the best thing for them to do would be either get the top tackle, I still think it's Skoronski, or getting one of the top 3 defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
With all of them being gone, and then like I said, with Stroud being, I feel like you just have to take Stroud. I feel like that's just a case where it fell to you, and you just take advantage of the moment.
All right.
Almost
so
like an Aaron Rodgers to the Packers moment.
Atlanta takes C.J. Stroud off the board at pick number 8.
Interesting.
Very interesting pick there.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go. There's a lot of directions for Atlanta. I've seen corner. If Witherspoon is there or Gonzalez, I've seen them linked to Bijan Robinson.
Still don't get that.
I don't really get Bijan Robinson
Yeah, I was
either.
gonna say Algier and Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they have been linked quite a bit to
I suppose
Robinson.
Arthur Smith with the Derrick Henry and
Yeah.
very strong run game.
So, anyways, on to Chicago now for David's pick.
Wait,
What?
what?
Or, God, I keep saying
everybody-
David. Oh my God.
I'll do
I was
the
like,
I
whole-
keep saying it's
David's
because I feel like it's because I look at you and then I look to the board and
David just
Okay.
does the whole draft.
David, yeah.
I'll do this, man.
Chris's pick.
I'm gonna be
My
really
bad.
biased towards my teams I like, though.
All right.
So I'm gonna be upfront. I do not like Chicago at all, but
Facts.
I think the best pick
Say it
for
louder.
them. I think they're making a lot of progress on their offensive line. They've added a few solid pieces. I thought Cody Whitehair was a decent player for them last year. Tevin Jenkins played well, but I think Paris Johnson is really a slam dunk pick for them here. It adds another O-lineman. Fields will have a lot more time in the pocket. He'll have time to be able to escape the pocket if he needs to. They already had a really good rushing offense, and I feel like adding another tackle will just solidify that even more. It'll give them a true identity.
All right. So Paris Johnson, yeah, makes it pretty easy for Chicago if they only have one of them there. So Paris Johnson to Chicago, not a bad pick at all. Now we're on to Philadelphia, and this one is tough for me because Devin Witherspoon is a very intriguing pick for them there at 10. They are in need of a corner, but at the same time,
Wait, the Eagles are?
the Eagles, yeah.
They have Bradbury and Slay,
right?
They're still hunting
Yes,
for that,
they still need some deep
quarterback
depth.
3. Yeah, they don't have any depth.
Slay is like 32.
Yeah,
so
he's
I
getting
guess
old.
for
They don't
more
have
of
any
a-
depth besides those two. And again, Witherspoon, I think at this point is the best defensive. He has the most defensive potential right now out of the guys left in this draft that we have made so far. So they've also been linked to Lucas Van Ness quite a bit. But assuming that they do not trade for Derrick Henry, I think that they are going Bijan Robinson here.
There you go.
They have been they've been one of the most connected teams to him besides
they're gonna be
Atlanta.
so overpowered with Bijan.
Yeah, I mean, their offense is going to be absolutely nuts. They're going to have nothing but rushers there with Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson,
They have Rashad Penny too.
Rashad Penny. Did they get rid of Miles Sanders?
Yeah,
he's gone,
he's on
isn't
the-
he?
yeah, he's on the Panthers now.
Yeah. I thought he, signed somewhere else in free agency. Just couldn't remember where. But yeah, so Bijan Robinson, you get. Again, I think a very, very not really underrated, but you get a extremely good offensive prospect. I'm not for taking running backs in the first round, but for a guy this caliber, you have to.
He's going to be in 1,000-yard rusher day one.
Yeah, he's going to be a big time. He's going to be the number 1 pick in every dynasty draft this year.
1,000%.
So,
Brian likes that pick.
yeah, right. Anyways, moving on to Tennessee for actually David's pick this time.
Let's go.
We should
All
just
right.
have David do the whole draft. We all just sit back and watch.
That's fine. I'm going to make it really, really, really messed up, though,
Uh-oh.
if I do that. So, so for Tennessee, God, it's so weird. Devin Witherspoon. I don't know why he's ranked as the 5th best, as number 5 on this thing. That's weird because it's not where I would have him personally.
Their big board's a little wonky on this, I
Yeah.
will agree.
But
That's a different one.
It's just a nice, user face. NFL mock draft database, we're going to plug it.
this may I'm gonna go a different route than I think many of you guys, and I know that for Packers fans that they wouldn't like this, but
Oh no,
If
I
you-
know exactly what's
if
happening.
you look
here.
at the Tennessee receiver room outside of Treylon Burks, who I think if he can stay healthy is going to be a very good big body receiver, who do they really have? They lost Robert Woods to the Texans, I believe. And they also lost Austin Hooper, so they really don't have much at receiver. And I know there's been a lot of talk that they're going to take Anthony Richardson, but it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, for them to take Anthony Richardson and kind of bench him and develop him under Ryan Tannehill, knowing that Ryan Tannehill has publicly stated that he doesn't want to be a mentor. Because you guys remember last year with Malik Willis, he's straight up just said, I'm not going to mentor you. So I was like, nice.
They did pretty good with that, too.
Yeah, right.
So,
He was mentoring Joshua Dobbs on the side.
Yeah, he was mentoring Caillou for the playoff stuff. So, with that being said, first wide receiver off the board. I hate the college, but I admit he's going to be a really good player. I have the Titans taking JSN.
There it is.
Jackson Smith off the board.
I cannot spell his last name, so I'm not even gonna.
I'm not gonna
try.
say his last name. That's probably that won't be a good look for me if I do.
I mean, it's a tough one.
is a
JSN
tough one.
JSN will work.
Yeah.
So Tennessee taking JSN and Anthony Richardson still available there. Houston is up here at number 12.
Oh my! Can you imagine if it played out like this and they got Anthony Richardson?
I mean, then they would look like geniuses
Yeah.
after everybody was clowning them for so long. But anyways, Sierra, you get both of Houston's picks. Lucky
I said
you.
it the first time I made a Texan pick that I think that the two spots they need most were QB and edge, and Anthony Richardson, in my opinion, is the 3rd best cornerback in this little roundup. So I'm going to take Anthony Richardson and fill that quarterback spot.
I think that's absolutely the
actually-
slam
I don't
dunk
know.
pick.
I'm more of a Stetson Bennett fan myself.
I was
but
gonna
you
say,
have your own opinion, I guess.
Max Duggan's still up here, man. What are we doing?
I was talking to Joe Maybe actually, and it was what if the Panthers took Stetson Bennett at number 1 overall? He was like, I might have to renounce my Panthers fandom.
Hey, you want winning? He's a winner.
He's done nothing but win. He's got
He's a-
2 championships
He's
to
a
his name.
32-year-old winner.
So
The Drew Timmy of football.
All right, so Anthony Richardson, I do agree. I think he does not fall any farther than 12. I don't think. I think all the quarterbacks are going to be gone at least by Houston at 12. I don't see any of them really slipping past there. I think that teams will trade up if they're still available. So, anyways, Alex, you get the Packers.
I don't know why I got this.
Alex, we can trade places here.
I mean, I have my idea. This is similar to the pick me and Carson did yesterday. Sierra witnessed a bit of that. And I feel like so far this has actually played out very similarly as a whole, so this is kind of nice. I feel like I'm going to go the same direction here. I am going to continue the Georgian legacy, and I'm going to take Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith.
I feel like this has multiple layers to it. Obviously, I feel like he's a bit underrated in some senses. I feel he is one of the top edge rushers, a bit undersized, but he has, some power and some finesse. And also, he was a captain for that Georgia front seven, so being the leader of such a great group, including such the guys that are on the Packers now, I feel like he can kind of wrangle them in a bit, get them under control, and then also be just a positive leadership presence for the defense.
Do you think he's better than Van Ness? Do you think they take him over Van Ness?
I'm going to be honest, I really don't like Van Ness.
Really?
I saw some highlights, like I was watching some film.
He didn't really come out of the scene until like a few weeks ago.
Exactly, and that's
You haven't really
scares
heard
me a lot.
anything about him. Yeah.
Like he was connected to the Eagles for a while, and now he's kind of slipping down the board.
I feel like he should
If you heard anything about Iowa, it was about Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
That's true.
Jack Campbell is a baller. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Van Ness, I saw some of the tape, and rather than moving through guys, he would engage, back up, and then a linebacker find the hole and then run through there, or something. It's he's getting the job done per se, but he's not doing what a lineman should do.
All right, interesting. Nolan Smith. That would not be bad by me. I might get his jersey at that point if he got another Nolan. We got a Nolan on the team for the Packers, and then
We're just becoming the Georgia Packers.
pretty
at this
much.
point.
I mean, you just have to change the colors. They already have the same logo.
Just got to keep him away from any medical staff.
Right? Or some shoving will be getting done.
You don't want to push them too hard.
All right, so we got Chris now with New England's pick. A lot of different directions they can go here.
Yeah, I was honestly, there's a lot of different places that I feel the Patriots could go. They could go wide receiver depending on who's on the board because they don't really have too much talent there besides Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's all the talent they need.
I think Kendrick Bourne is okay. He's a semi-decent prospect. They need a bit of offensive line help. They need middle linebacker help, I feel like. They just have a lot of different spots that I feel like they could go. And it's honestly tough to make a pick here. I know another thing they need is a safety, so I'm going to go with Brian Branch out of Alabama here.
Whoa.
Probably the best safety
Best
on
safety.
the
I
board.
was gonna say
No,
best
yeah.
safety in the draft.
Definitely the best
Sure.
safety in the draft.
Versatile, yeah.
Very interesting. That I'm almost certain you were going to go Devon Witherspoon there.
Oh, he's still on the board.
He's still on the board. He's dropping.
I mean, they have Marcus Jones. He's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean they
Their
are in
corners
some need of corner help though. I mean,
they need some.
and at the it's best player at this point.
I've
But
seen him mocked there a few times.
so
They're
over
a really strange,
Oh, and
strangely constructed
and Witherspoon.
very weird.
There's no shot that the Jets. Oh my God, he's going to be available for Washington. Wow.
Yeah, Devon Witherspoon is probably, I think you just revealed your pick. But Washington is in desperate need of corners. So, I mean, but anyways, New York is in desperate need of O-line. There's two different options I think that they could go with here. I think that in a lot of mock drafts I've seen, Broderick Jones is going to the Patriots. But if players like Devon Witherspoon, and I think Brian Branch will be there, but if Witherspoon's there, I personally think that New England would take him and pass on Broderick Jones and Darnell Wright, give the Jets the option. I think Broderick Jones is just a tad better than Darnell Wright, so I'm going to go Broderick Jones for the Jets.
Couldn't agree more.
And that passes it back to David for Washington.
So this one I feel like is pretty easy. I don't know if he'll fall because honestly, I like Devon Witherspoon, but like I said, he's not my consensus cornerback one, and I think even you could say him and Joey Porter are pretty similar to each other. But if Witherspoon is here right now, I don't see how Washington can pass on him, especially since they declined Chase Young's fifth-year option, so that frees up a lot of cap space. I know it's not not the same position, but it's still related in my opinion. So I'll make the obvious pick. It's just go BPA here and go with Devon Witherspoon.
Yeah. I mean, they were getting mocked to pick like Joey Porter or like Deonte Banks. So, the fact that
Banks is
they
good.
would,
I like Deonte
they would
Banks.
love if Witherspoon dropped this far.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he will. But hey, that's the fun of a group mock draft here. So,
Chaos.
on to Sierra for the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick number 17.
I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but I feel like one issue that the Steelers one position that they need to add on to is cornerbacks. And I know you just said his name. I'm going to go Joey Porter.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, they just lost Emmanuel Mosley.
And Joey.
That's crazy.
Joey
because he was on the
Porter's
49ers.
I was gonna say.
and Joey Porter's father.
Oh no, it was Cam Sutton that they lost.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I got him confused. It was
Yeah.
Cam
I was
Sutton
like,
that they
man,
lost.
that's
Sutton.
crazy.
And Joey Porter Jr.'s father actually played for the Steelers. So I think if he's
He also
there,
went to
Right.
Penn State. So
100%.
It's kind of like a
Wow.
home
Yeah,
type thing.
That's
it's-
crazy.
Solid.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, another kind of a slam dunk pick there. So on to Alex for the Detroit Lions at 18. They already got Christian Gonzalez with 6
Pretty
for
happy
corner.
with this. I was almost a Detroit fan back in the day, so it's kind of hard.
Hey, now it's time to come out of the rafters because they're starting to get good again.
Oh, Detroit is up exponentially, man. They're winning the division next year.
The Packers have the worst
Not if Kirk
odds to win.
Chains has anything to say about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Perks. Or
Throwing to
Kirk
Justin
Cousins.
Jefferson and,
I don't know
Is that
if
what
I'm
you're
and
about to
Justin
say?
Jefferson
I
and
was
no one else.
unsure if I was allowed to say that on air. but,
Perk spelled P-E-R-K, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, the perks of having
the
Kirk.
Like percola- yeah, right.
Perks of that. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Anywho,
Good save.
Well, it's a tough one because I can see him going two directions here. Either further cement the defense and try and add something. I feel like Miles Murphy would be a great addition to be on the bookend for Hutchinson. But I could also obviously see him going the direction of tight end, having traded away Hawkinsocks last year. I feel like they need to fix that a
I
bit.
had a different nickname for him, but that I can't say on air.
So, I mean, it just really depends on, like, their philosophy. I know yesterday me and Carson had drafted going defense the first and then offense the second. I believe I will follow through with that because it's much like how they did it last year with Anderson Hutchinson and then going with Williams. So I feel they will go with Meyer.
No,
Michael
I
Mayer.
wanted to fall. Stop.
going to the
Next
No.
Can he
Detroit
fold like
Lions.
23 more picks?
Hot
gonna
take.
say-
Hot take. I think Kincaid's a little
Kincaid's
better than Meyer.
Yeah, I've been hearing
I
that a
think
lot.
Kincaid's a
It
little better
depends on
than
what you're
Meyer.
asking for from the
Right. I mean, Meyer
Meyer's
is.
a better two-way.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Meyer's more physically gifted, but I think Kincaid's a better catcher.
Yeah, I agree.
Like what you kind of got
I
to
agree.
weigh out.
Yeah. So, like, if the Packers were to take somebody, I think that they should take like Kincaid. But
Depends how much you need.
right. Yeah. It depends on what they decide. So, anyways, moving on to Tampa Bay for Chris.
To be honest, I think this team has a lot of needs right now. I really think their only set in stone position is any of the linebackers. I think that's really the strength of their team. Their defense kind of revolves around them. I think they really need an edge. With that, I'm going to go with Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa at 19.
Interesting. Lucas Van Ness for Tampa Bay. Are in need of an edge. They're in need of a tackle. They're in need of a quarterback.
They're in
they
need of a lot of
They could
things.
go for anything. I could see him drafting Hendon Hooker at 19.
Hey, don't
They might
be
be
disrespecting my boy, progressive boy.
They might be baking up
Hulu
a
has
playoff
live
spot
sports.
this year. You never know.
So anyway, Seattle on to 20 here.
Carson's watching.
Oh,
careful.
before. Oh wait, is it yours or mine?
It's mine.
Oh,
Sorry.
Person is watching. You gotta make him happy.
I was gonna say I saw something. Pete Carroll tweeted out draft clue number 1, and it is a screenshot of Love Is Blind season 4.
What?
I don't know what that means, but he just tweeted that out. He said it was a screenshot of the city. I don't know what city, but it's of Love Is Blind, and he said draft clue number 1.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
That's what I'm like. So just in case that helps you out at all.
So
Awesome.
a lot of different directions I could go here with Seattle. We got Jalen Carter for him. So yeah, Carson, I hope you're watching. With the 20th pick, I will draft Stetson Bennett. No, I'm just kidding.
That pick is not going to age well, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I could see him going either I could see him going edge here. I could see them maybe liking Miles Murphy enough, but I think that since they already went Jalen Carter, they already went defense, I think that they're going to try and get some offense here. And this is a guy who's actually been getting quite a lot of hype recently. He kind of flew up the draft board a little bit. And that is Zay Flowers from Boston College. I think that they're going to go with at 20. Believe it or not, some people are mocking him to be the first receiver taken ahead of JSN, which
Oh
would
my
be
God.
absolutely crazy, like asinine. But
I can see it being
I've
number
seen
2. I think him and Johnson is really close, but no shot he's better than Jason.
no. But I mean there's been a lot of hype surrounding him recently, so I do think Zay Flowers goes to Seattle. And then
I'd also
David,
like to add really quick. Carson loves your pick.
he loves my pick. Great.
He
Similar to
says
his pick
thank you.
yesterday.
I'm glad I could do. I drafted
happy.
both of Seattle, so you're welcome. You're welcome. The Chargers are at 21 here, and David, you get the
What's up, man?
responsibility of drafting for Alex's team, so you better
No
make
pressure,
it
No
good.
pressure.
Ooh,
There's
I'm
a lot
not.
of ways you can go.
I'm not
be
gonna lie.
honest.
Oklahoma quarterback Jake Hayner's looking really promising right now.
Let's
They
see
need
what
the
let's see
depth.
what
They need the
kickers
depth.
are. Let's see what the kickers are going
They
here.
got
Jake
Kicker the
Moody out of
kicker.
Michigan.
Can't disrespect
You're
that.
speaking my language now. I do think he's the best kicker in the draft, by the way. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah,
But
for sure. But I don't think they're taking him 21. But
Maybe second round.
yeah, I think he's more of like a
maybe they trade back up into the first round.
maybe like more of a late 30s type of guy. But honestly, so I was thinking about this, and you might disagree with this, but in my opinion, I mean, you may think that they're kind of set at receiver now that Allen is staying, but Keenan Allen is 31, Mike Williams is 29. Mike Williams is also made of glass. So my pick was actually going to go be Zay Flowers, but
That was a good one.
I think that it would be a really good idea to get a wide receiver 3 that they can kind of like play in more of like a reserve role. Sorry, because I already think Keenan Allen's kind of cooked. I mean, he's just a lot slower now. He's still good, he's still like one of the best big body receivers in the league. But like, he's just not the player
He's
he used
not
to
at
be.
his peak anymore.
No, but I'm gonna take. I think the third best receiver in this class is in Quentin Johnston.
Interesting.
For the Chargers.
I'll admit, receiver is a good route to go. Personally, I was really hoping you were going to say Jordan Addison because I feel like over the years they've always been getting like the big body guys. Like they got Mike Will. They've also got Josh Palmer
Yeah.
in the depth too. So I was really going for more the speed and the short size. And yeah, Keenan. With the cap hit next year, he's going to get cut. Like, that's just how it's going to be. So they need to replace eventually.
Personally, I think if Miles Murphy's there, they might go Miles Murphy at edge.
No, they can
do that too,
With Mac
to help,
also
yeah.
to get some depth and
All right.
replace age.
Well, Mac
Yeah.
is kind of over the hill a little bit too.
And plus,
Yeah.
that's a big cap hit too, so
Yeah.
they need to get young.
The Bears signed him to that monster deal and dumped him at the right time, I think.
Yeah. So, anyways, looking at the clock, we got about 12 minutes left here, so we're going to start flying through picks. Just a really brief explanation of who we're taking here. On to Sierra with Baltimore.
Okay, I think Baltimore's got a couple positions that they need filled, but I think the biggest one that they need is a wide receiver, so I'm going with Jordan Addison.
All right, 3 receivers in a row there. This is a big receiver area. Like, this is going to be the hot spot for the receivers here.
It's a deep wide receiver class.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they
I don't know
haven't.
if it's necessarily good though.
They haven't exactly. Yeah, a lot of people have
top
been
end
saying
is questionable.
JSN is like the only first-round talent. But anyways, they're all gone in our mock draft. On to Minnesota for Alex.
So much pressure. My dad's probably watching. He's a Vikings fan. Well, I've seen this mocked a few times. I'm really interested with it, and I think it's chaotic, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say
I know you're taking.
Hendon Hooker,
Yeah.
quarterback Tennessee.
Oh,
Hendon
my
Hooker. They're
The
replacing Kirk.
26-year-old
Because I think he is.
Where's
chains will
even
be
on this
replaced.
board?
You just got to
He's
go to the
number
QBs.
34?
Yeah.
His average
What?
ranking is like 41.
What
but
are you-
if
what are you
not for
doing?
the injury, he could have won the Heisman last year. Like
He could,
was
yeah.
doing
That's
good.
I think
actually
he is
put
a
up
little
numbers.
underrated in this class, and I
Not
think
for that injury,
he's been
he
getting a lot of
would've
hype surrounding him going in the first round. So,
What do you mean?
Chris, on to Jacksonville here for you. The Jags. Who you got him drafting?
First of all, I just want to say that the Vikings better pray that he's better than Kirk is at any time other than 12 o'clock. So, because that's his only good time
So
of
it's
day.
a low hill. It's a
He
short-
already won one
short
big game in
bar.
prime time, so
Exactly.
he beat Alabama.
Got that dog.
There you go. So, the Jags, I really think I was looking at their stuff a little bit. They need some secondary help. I'm going to go with Deontay Banks, corner out of Maryland
Underrated corner.
at 24.
Solid.
Underrated corner
Um,
for sure.
think that could be a solid pickup for them. They, like I said, they had the 5th worst pass defense last year. They're an up-and-coming team for sure. I think Doug Peterson's done a great job there.
All right, so Deontay Banks, and that does hurt my pick here at the Giants because I would have liked to go corner. I could still go Forbes here. I don't know if they reach that far down, though. I have seen them linked a lot to John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota, actually.
That's good.
But I think if they go interior O-line, which is a need for them, and I'm also split because I do like Kalijah Cansey for them as well. A lot of different positions they could go. But I'm going to go interior offensive lineman. I'm going to go Osiris Torrance out of Florida for the Giants. Moving on to Dallas.
Cowboys really need to look for a tight end to replace Dalton Schultz. Just keep that in mind over
They
there.
got Jake Ferguson.
I was gonna say, my roommate is. I'm actually so happy I got this pick. My roommate is a Cowboys fan, and he will go. He's like, we have the deepest tight end core in the league. I was like, and honestly, I believe them. They had 3 white tight ends, all with numbers in the 80s. I couldn't even tell them apart. But I do think with Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot that they do have tight end depth. So I'm actually going to go in a different route. And now I do think that they do need a little bit help on the defensive line. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Kalijah Cansey.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't think I've seen a mock draft yet where Dallas has not taken a tight end, but it's very possible that they do.
The one I'm
think that
looking
they
at
have the
right now,
depth.
believe it or not, has Kalijah Cansey at 26.
Let's
Like
go.
if they don't take
Big
tight
green.
end, that is who I think that if he's available, they'll take.
For sure.
On to Buffalo.
I may
for Sierra.
also not have done that because I want a certain team in 2 picks to
wondered
take a tight end.
Guess who has that pick?
Oh, let's go. Come on, man.
Let him down. Let him down.
One position I think that Buffalo needs is probably a quarterback, so I'm going to go Emmanuel Forbes.
All right, Emmanuel Forbes, and he is the best cornerback available. He's very, I think he will. I think this is a very cornerback needy draft. A lot of teams need cornerbacks, so I could see Forbes. I could even see players like Camp Smith out of South Carolina and Ringo. Keely Ringo, possibly
about
getting in the first round. But anyways, on to Alex for Cincinnati. There's a couple good players here that you could take.
I know there's a guy from Georgia. I feel like he's got a pretty enticing upside. Iowa. obviously.
Darnell Washington.
Iowa's always that tight end factor.
Oh,
Got Sam
man, that's the
Laporta.
guy I want Green Bay to draft.
Got Sam Laporta to look out for. But I suppose if by some miracle this is the way that the draft were to fall, Joe Burrow would eventually be throwing to Dalton Kincaid.
Yes.
Dalton
Let's
Kincaid.
go.
Easy pick there. Easy pick out of.
I would
if
also be
he's
okay
there,
with
yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs if we were to go that route. I feel like this is
Yeah.
late enough to where you can justify taking a running back.
I've seen
Yeah,
that mocked a few times.
it's possibly,
I
yeah.
feel like between the two.
He's
Actually,
kind of
I
bouncing
think
around.
Samaj P. Ryan's incredibly underrated.
He's
as a
on the
running back.
Broncos now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Shows you how much I know, I guess.
All right, Chris, you got the
I
New
agree, though,
Orleans
he is
Saints
underrated.
here.
I think the Saints, they're another kind of perplexing team to me. I've gotten some interesting picks for sure. I want to be a homer here and pick Keanu Benton for the defensive line, but I'm going to go with Maisie Smith out of Michigan. I'm a big David Happ.
Mozzie Smith, but thank you. Let's
Dang,
go.
they passing up Brian Breesy, passing up Miles Murphy,
I'd
who is
just like to
still on the
remind Miles
board.
Murphy is
You know,
still
it
on
is
the
what
board.
it is, Nolan.
He led the entire Big Ten conference in QB pressures last year.
He's
I'm
not
just
going
saying.
before Miles Murphy goes, so
No,
unfortunately.
he's definitely not.
This
but,
is a hot talk where the hot takes come to play.
You know,
but it's like
who
I mean, like
knows?
they don't play the same position though. He's not an edge. He's more of
well,
like
I think even Brian
Yeah,
Breesy. I
Mozzie's-
think Brian Breesy would go before Mozzie too. I think Mozzie's the second best
Brian
or the
Breesy
third
has,
best D lineman.
Brian Breesy has potential bust written all over him for me.
I mean, he's just had a hard life, man. Like his sister died, he got like some liver disease. Like it's just hasn't been a good run. for
David
college.
doesn't care about that. He's
I
all
don't
business.
care at all. That's tough, man.
It's cold-hearted.
That's tough.
If by some miracle Miles Murphy is still here, the Eagles are 100%. I mean, this doesn't even really deserve an explanation. They'll take Miles Murphy easily at 30.
I've seen him in some mocks being at the end of the first round.
I do believe, but I think it would be hard for me to see. I think like all the mocks I've seen, if he's still there at New Orleans, like they're taking him at 29.
I don't know,
but-
man.
I'd say he's miles ahead of Lucas Van Ness personally, but
All right, so Miles, anyways, Murphy off the board.
one.
thank you.
And our last first round pick goes to David with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Punter, get a punter.
I would love to do that. I don't
Long
like the Chiefs,
snapper.
but so I'm actually going to. It's hard because there's a couple ways that this could go. Part of me wants to say that they could use some receiver help because currently their best receiver is MVS.
Yeah.
I also am thinking they did just lose Orlando Brown. Thank you, Kansas City, for the finesse. Appreciate it. But I'm actually going to go in a different direction here and say that, obviously Travis Kelce is a top 5 tight end of all time, in my opinion, but he's not going to be around forever. And he's what, like 35 now?
It's getting up there.
So I am going to have the, it might be a bit of a reach, but I'm going to have the Chiefs take Darnell Washington out of Georgia
Interesting.
as kind of like who better to learn from for the next 2 years and even maybe get some reps as like a blocker than Darnell Washington, who is, in my opinion, the best blocking tight end in the draft.
All right, Kansas City goes tight end in the last pick of the first round, and just to for mock drafts, I think for their system you need to pick 32. So we'll give Sierra here the bonus pick, Pittsburgh Steelers, in the first. What will be the first pick of the second round here?
Sorry, I was not prepared for this. And mine did not let me. Mine ended at 31.
Oh, okay.
I'll say I did one that ended at 31 too.
I got one up.
I'll
that
finish it
ends at
off here.
I used
You want?
PFN.
There's
I'll finish it off then because mine has to end at 32. So if by some miracle, I think that there's no shot this guy falls out of the first round, but Darnell Wright will easily be the first pick taken if he's there by Pittsburgh. So, all right. The mock draft for Hawk Talk is complete. Very interesting picks to say the least. It kind of
at me,
went. It
everyone.
kind of went according
I
to
think you had a
plan.
great draft, Chris.
I think that
Bengals.
I don't know. It always kind of if you make any mock draft, it starts to fall off the rails a little bit in places. But
Especially
overall,
without trades.
I like it. Yeah, especially without trades.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been very hard to keep track of, all the different trades and stuff like that. But I do like it. I think that they're, me personally, I mean, I don't know, we can go around for final thoughts here, what we thought about this, or if you want to do something else too, that's totally fine as we go around for final thoughts. I'll start though. Some players, I think like Miles Murphy, I do think will get drafted a little higher than 30. I could see him falling. I know that it's very realistic that he could fall to the end of the first round. I personally don't think he will. I don't think Dalton Kincaid will fall that far, and
Yes, he will.
I don't think Darnell Wright will fall that far.
Trade with the Chargers.
But I mean, overall, like we did a pretty good job. I think there really wasn't any reaching going on here. I mean, sorry, Chris, maybe Brian Branch a little bit with New England, but
Compare.
I'm
other
here
than
for
that, I mean,
entertainment purposes, not analysis.
It's very possible. I mean, New England, Bill Belichick loves to be unpredictable. So, but anyways.
Cole Strange.
A fantastic first round mock draft as we get prepared to watch the draft tonight. We'll start over with David here in the Fishbowl. Final thoughts quickly as we got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be really interesting. I think this is one of the deeper wide receiver drafts and one of the deeper running. Like there's like 5 good options at running back. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some like day 2 sleepers like Zach Charbonnet or Tank Dell, Josh Downs, guys like that could really make a difference. So I'm excited.
All right, Sierra.
I'm also excited to watch the draft. Excited to try and balance both my hockey game and this draft. But yeah.
It's going to be an exciting night. Alex.
I mean, you might as well call me Mel Monty Kuiper because, like, this draft, I'm all in, baby. I've got my consensus big board, and then I've got my personal big board. I've got, like, the average rankings of a lot of these players, so it's going to be very exciting to dissect it. Going to watch it with a 49er friend of mine, so sorry, Carson, but, takes precedence. So we'll definitely be having a good time with that, and I'm very excited to see what chaos shakes out.
Hopefully lots of it. I would love to see this just become super chaotic, like God, please take Stetson Bennett in the first round somehow. Chris.
I just want the Packers to ideally draft someone offensively tonight. It might not happen. It might happen. You never really know. There's a lot up in the air right now with that pick. I think the Packers tight end 1 right now is Josiah DeGuara. I really hope that's changed by tomorrow at minimum. Ideally, it would be Darnell Washington, but I think he's probably going to get taken before 42. At 13, I honestly think there's a lot of different ways to go, and it all depends on whether Jackson Smith, don't want to say his last name on air, is taken or not.
Yeah, I mean, if JSN's not there, I could easily see Green Bay trading down out of that pick. I could see him staying there as well, but one thing I will say before we go off air, if Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer are still there at the bottom of the first round, watch out for Green Bay to jump back up into the first round here. They got 2 really close together first round picks, so they're going to be tight end hunting. So anyways, so that was the mock draft here on Hawk Talk. Thank you all for watching on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, and on UWW TV. Back to alternative music here on The Edge. Have a good week, and we'll see you on Monday.